So I do have one question I've seen that was emailed in from Fred. Okay, so let's let me get BlackBird up and running. All right, just enable it to turn it on. All right, so the question that I have is, it sounds like the question is about automatically setting the profit targets, the profit target reward distance based on the stop losses risk distance. So let's let's get into the order management here. All right, so I'll just create a simple entry order just so I can get to the profit and stop losses. So if, let's just say if we know that the stop loss is going to be 10 ticks, or in the way the question was written, if the stop loss is known as a X distance, then is there a way to automatically set the profit target at something like 2x or 3x, 2 times or 3 times the stop loss distance? So, and yeah, that can be done using a indicator here. So, so if you got an indicator, so it sounds like you must have. It sounds like with the question, there must be an indicator being used to set the stop loss. So let's see, let's use an indicator here. So we'll use let's use the parabolic SAR here. So if you're using some kind of an indicator, all right, so in this setup, right, in our initial placement, right, our mode is we're using an indicator value. So if you're using an indicator to set the location of your stop loss, then if you would also just rewrite that indicator or add to that indicator, to also calculate an offset distance for the profit target. So like if you're using an indicator up here in this area, this actually sets the literal price of where the stop loss is going to go. Or, this would also set the literal price of where the profit target would go as well. Now, if you're wanting to create an offset, so if you have an indicator that calculates a 10 tick offset or a 20 tick offset, some kind of offset from wherever price is, then that's when you would use the indicator down here. So as you can see, this says an offset, right? So this offset would be based off of wherever your entry order is at, right? So with a market order, wherever that market order gets filled, then this offset, the offset is actually based off of whatever price is set up here in the upper area here. So if we switch over to price, and so we could select the entry price, right? So wherever the market order gets filled, right, we can take that entry price once that entry price is known, and then apply an offset. And so, so in this example, let's use the ATR. Actually, let's scrap that and let's make this easier on us. So let's just use the 1.5 ATR here for our stop loss. And then if we open up the initial placement settings, right? There we go. So we can see that the right, that quick list setting there, it's using the entry price, right? This market order, it's grabbing the entry price of this market order, and then we're using then it's using the ATR with the 20 period, and we can see here is the offset factor. So we can see, so for a long trade, right, you want a negative offset, right? So that way your stop loss is below, right? You want your stop loss to be below your entry price. So that's why this would be a negative offset, because your stop loss is below, right? For the profit target, this would be a positive one, because you want your stop loss, you want your profit target to be above your entry price for a long order, right? So, but anyways, getting back to the point. So, if you use a indicator to calculate your offset distance, then using the long factors. So if you're using just a factor of 1, just a -1 multiplication factor times the ATR. So anyways, just consider 1, right, as x. So in this question, so we know that our ATR is set to 1, that would be x. And then if we want to set the profit target at 2x or 3x, then let's use the ATR here. So again, using the ATR, right, we can just put a long factor of 2 in there. Or if you wanted it to be 3x, then you could just, just increase that number to whatever you want it to be. 2x, you could put in there 2.5x, 2.75x, whatever you want there. But just adjust this number here, to be whatever you want it to be. 3x, 4x, 2x, something like that. So this offset, provides an easy way to kind of create a multiplier offset for you. So, yep. So, let's see. See if Fred's here. No, Fred's not here, so unfortunately you won't be able to, I guess, follow up with any questions. But if you guys have any follow-up questions to this, just let me know. So, I guess, yeah, let me just kind of finish off here. So if you're the alternative to using the offset would be to use an indicator value. So that's kind of what I started the question off with. So you could also have I know there are a few indicators out there that will calculate a profit target and stop loss for you, and so you could use those indicators in here. And so if you're using one of those custom indicators to calculate your profit target and stop loss, then I would imagine it would have settings in it so that you could automatically set your profit targets as 2 times whatever the stop loss risk is. So really, so if you're using an indicator to set the actual price of, say, your profit target and the actual price of your stop loss, right, then that indicator would need to have built into its settings the ability to add a 2x multiplier or 3x multiplier or 4x multiplier. So all right, so let's see. Charles is asking, so like, how would we set up those various risk and maximum loss for the day? And BlackBird. So those, let's see, those would all be under money management here. All right, so let's see. So the risk per trade, here we go. So risk per trade, the first one down here, risk per trade, is set at $400. So it's a cash amount, not a percentage amount. So we're going to change the variable here to a fixed amount, and then we'll put in 400 for a $400 risk per trade. And then the second option here is the maximum. Let's see, maximum. I guess maximum daily loss per day. So that would be your net max loss per day right there. So, like so. Right. Now, keep in mind, guys. So as I've said many times, that the management components here, the management buttons here, do not apply to discretionary trading. Right now, these management options are for automated trading. Right. So as so if you're using BlackBird to do your own discretionary trading, all right, so let me kind of back up here, right? So discretionary trading would be, for example, using the dynamic planner, right? So if we're using the dynamic planner here to plan out your trades before you take it, like that, or you could use the chart trader buttons up here as well. Right, so if you were the one, that's deciding, when and where to take the trades, instead of using a trade signal, right, that's discretionary trading. So if you're doing your own discretionary trading, then the money management, rules here. So remember, there's a little quick buttons here to get to your money management, risk management here. But in general, to say, right, so this management settings here, even the scheduling, right, these don't apply to discretionary trading, right? As a discretionary trader, right, you're obviously sitting right in front of NinjaTrader, pulling the trigger yourself. So right now, having these money management rules apply to your discretionary trading actually, I should say that net max loss will not apply. However, the risk per trade, so the risk per trade, that's something that's calculated on the fly by BlackBird here. So this actually works for discretionary trading. It works for discretionary trading when you're using the dynamic planner here. So you can see the dynamic planner, you can see right now it's calculating 8 and 10 contracts, right, depending on where price is right now in relationship to the stop loss. You can see that the number of contracts here is constantly adjusting. And so something else we can do here, so that there's a risk reward feedback panel here, right? It's right next to the market info panel, and we can actually see what our risk is. So the risk is going from 400 to like 350. Just depends on where the current market is trading at there. Well, we can see that our risk is constantly being updated as the market is moving towards the stop loss or away from the stop loss. Right. So we can see the dynamic planner does use the risk per trade, or actually I should say the risk per trade, is designed to be used with discretionary trading. However, the daily safeguards and the daily watermarks, right? These kind of daily based money management is currently just hooked into automated trading. Right. So automated trading would be when you're using a bloodhound signal or some other third-party indicator based trade signal. So, all right. So maybe Eileen, maybe that covered your question there. So, all right. So, and I guess I'll just kind of cover here. So, the chart control trader here. So the risk per trade. Let me get both of these open here. All right. So the trade fit and the trade fit risk per trade. So this option here doesn't apply to the trade controls because when you're using the trade controls, BlackBird, there's no time for BlackBird to know exactly what the risk is until the trade is actually put on. But with the dynamic planner, since the trade is not live yet, BlackBird has the opportunity to actually calculate what the risk is, and then update the number of contracts. All right. Okay, yeah, so Charles is asking a question about the daily account max loss limit here. So the question is, so regarding the net max loss here, so the example is, well, let me just state how this works. It's pretty simple. So once your loss for the day has exceeded $600, BlackBird doesn't really have the capability to stop it at exactly $600. Well, it could try to. So using the enforce during live trade, BlackBird will attempt to set your max losses, right as close to $600, as possible. Obviously, it depends on market volatility and everything, right? So BlackBird can't guarantee, any order fills. That's up to the markets. That's up to the exchanges and the instrument and the market volatility and all those kind of factors there. Liquidity in the market. But BlackBird will attempt to try and close the trade out at $600, or maybe a little bit more of a loss, but BlackBird just tries to get as close to $600 as possible. So when they enforce during live trade here, but normally, so if the enforce during live trade, if that is off, right? So that's the default setting, that this is off. Then as soon as the trade closes out, so as soon as your stop loss gets hit, and so once the trade closes out and it becomes a realized profit or loss, right? Then you get a new calculated realized. So basically, I guess a good way of saying this is that the net max profit and max loss, these are based off of realized profits and losses. All right. So this is based off of realized profits and losses, and the enforced during live trade that attempts to use unrealized profits and loss. All right, so let's see here. let's kind of set something up here. I'm just going to throw something way out here, like so. Let's execute it. All right, and so if we go to NinjaTrader, and let's see, let's look at our position here. So yeah, on the positions tab, right, we can see, so this is showing us unrealized. Let's see if I can find something with both here. Here we go. Okay, great. So under the strategies tab, we have unrealized and then we have realized. Right, so back to the money management, right? So these net profit and loss. So by default, they're going to use the realized P&L of the trade, and this enforced during live trade uses the unrealized P&L there of a trade. Right. So with the enforced during live trade, when those are disabled or when those are off, this net max loss just means as soon as you exceed $600. So right, so you could, depending on how many contracts you got out there and where your stop loss is, right? In theory, you could end up with $1,000 loss for the day, and that, so let's say you're at a loss. Let's say your current loss for the day is at $550 loss for the day. Then your next trade is placed on, and your next trade could lose another $500. So that means your net loss for the day would be $1,050. And so then that would activate this net max loss. Right? So it is possible to lose more than $600. So this net max loss just says as soon as $600 is exceeded, then BlackBird will stop auto trading for the day. So remember, these apply to auto trading. So let's see. So Charles is asking, does the enforced live trades enter a market order to close to close out the open position? Yes, I believe that actually would be a technical question for NinjaTrader. So, so a command is issued to NinjaTrader to flatten out the trade, and then NinjaTrader does whatever it does. I'm sure. Let's see, what would that be? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that NinjaTrader would have to, in order to close a position out as quickly as possible, that would require a market order. So, for example, if let's see, I have to close that out. So, if you use the close button here on BlackBird, right, the same thing on NinjaTrader's chart trader. If you use the close button, I'm pretty certain that is a market order. That's the only way to close the position out as fast as possible is with a market order. Alrighty, we'll wrap it up here. So have a great weekend and enjoy the spring weather out there. And again, keep your questions coming for these workshops, and I hope to see you guys next week. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.